guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about Ram and what, as a consumer, I want to see from Ram for the 6th gen truck, and see what you guys think as well out of this. So I really think that Ram's got to respond with something here within about 8 to 12 months with a new truck. You got GM coming out with their new Duramax, updating the interior. Ford's got the new high output. They did an interior refresh and a little bit of an exterior styling update. Packed in a lot more towing tech though. So both GM and Ford are starting to push it quite a bit, and I really think that Ram is going to get leapfrogged here, or kind of is getting leapfrogged, to be honest, right now by the competition. They're charging the most for their trucks out of anybody. The 3500 that I ordered that I did not take delivery of, that was a 2023, that truck MSRP'd at $102,000, guys. And I could get a limited F350 crew cab long bed. I want to say it's 97 or 99. So I mean, it's a few $1,000s cheaper for a truck that offers a lot more performance, other than the exhaust brake. But that's something I can talk about later. But overall, I think Ram's gonna be in trouble here, and I think as a Ram fan, I really love my Ram trucks. I don't see myself jumping ship, not yet. But as a consumer, and I think a lot of the other Ram guys will agree, is it's time for something to happen with a 6th gen truck. So I thought I would share my thoughts with it, share my thoughts about what I would like to see, ask what you guys want to see, and we'll see what Ram does. But anyway, let's get to it. So I'll kind of go from the inside out, I'll say here. So on the interior, I still believe that Ram is using the best materials, and I love this interior still. But what I think would be really great to see is, if they're going to charge the most for their trucks, go ahead and put this limited interior, that we're in here, put the limited or the limited Longhorn interiors into the Laramie. I really think the Laramie is kind of just a up-spec Bighorn, so to say. I don't think it's that different. And I think there's a huge difference in the leather between the Laramie and the Limiteds. So I would really like to see if they would kind of basically shove this interior into the Laramie. I think it's well-deserved. And bring in just a better version of this limited interior into the Limited and Limited Longhorns. I'm thinking like stuff like quilted leather, keep the materials. The materials are absolutely fantastic. I love the screen, I really do. I actually think making the 12-inch screen would be standard, just across the board, would be a really nice touch too, honestly, because this is a really awesome setup. I really love it. So I think that would be really cool. Something like a quilted leather seat, make the seat, these are relatively simple seats. They're nothing crazy. They're very nice, but I think introducing something with more adjustment, more plushness, quilted leather, kind of a thicker bucket to really add some comfort to those long drives, that would be really cool. Ford's doing the quilted leather thing. GM kind of does, but it's really not. It's, their own interpretation, not necessarily own interpretation, but the Denali Ultimate and stuff like that, those are really good looking seats and stuff. So just refresh the interior. Honestly, I would love to see them go back to this standard gauge cluster like this. I don't like the digital dash. I think they're just doing it because everybody else is doing it. And I guess if people like it, then people like it. The consumers will give their feedback. I personally don't like it. That's just my opinion, but my opinion obviously doesn't dictate what everybody else thinks. So I would like to see this better. I think this is just classier, and I love these gauges a lot. So whatever, it is what it is on those. But I definitely think just go take it up 10, 15, 20% on the interior on the Limiteds. Shuffle this over to the Laramie. That would be really cool. I think cabs are totally fine. I think one thing that would be so cool, give us a 4 to 6 inch longer bed. Give us a 6'10" bed or a 6'8" bed. The 6'4" bed, it's not a problem for me. I tow my 40-foot race trailer with that. It's a gooseneck just fine, but that's a tapered nose trailer. not everybody wants a taper nose trailer or can find a taper nose trailer. So, a lot of the fifth wheel guys, I don't have any experience towing toy haulers or anything like that, but I know a lot of guys say it either gets close or they can't do a full turn. So, and the most popular, if guys are looking for an on-the-lot truck, it's not easy to find a long bed, and I know a lot of people don't want a long bed. So I really think the customer or consumer base would love just a slightly longer bed, a little bit longer wheelbase on the short cab truck, on the short bed trucks, whether it be a mega cab or a crew cab, whatever. That would just be really, really cool. And I think that, kind of going back that direction, I think standard a 36-gallon tank would be so nice. 36 or 37 and a half, that would be really cool. And give us the option on the short bed trucks, give us the option for that 50-gallon tank. That would be huge. For me, I'd be all over that. I'd be thrilled to have a 50-gallon tank in this truck. Because when I'm towing around, I get, let's say, 12.5-ish MPG with my race trailer. I get about 20, 22, depending on, I've seen high as 24 on this truck, but let's just say 22 MPG. I could go forever on a tank of fuel, whether I'm towing my trailer or whether I'm just unloaded and going to work like I am right now. That would be so great, even if it was just a 37.5-gallon tank. That'd be really nice. I think that's a common thing. A lot of people say, GM and Ford, they're doing a slightly larger tank. It'd be nice to step up to just a little bit extra, just, peace of mind for getting to a next fuel stop when you're towing or whatever. So whatever, that's that on that. Kind of going on the outside as well of the truck, wheels and tires. I think on the dually, doing some Alcoas, like 19.5-inch, that would be very nice, like what the F450 has. I really would like to see that. The 17s are boring. I don't like them personally. It is what it is, whatever. I don't have a dually. If I did have a dually, that's what I would personally like to have on my truck, would be like a set of 20s. But whatever, it is what it is. Wheels aren't the end all be all, but tires. Come on, Ram, give us a better tire. The stock Firestones are dog shit. They're so bad. I took mine off after 1,800 miles or 2,200 miles or so. I never planned to keep those tires, and I tried them out just because I was like, I'll give them a chance. Nah, they're crap. And they're not noisy or anything, and they're fine in the dry, I guess. But if you know, they're not good tires. So give us some better tires. Give us give us a Michelin Defender like what I got on my truck, even if it's a 285 60/20. Whatever, that's fine. At least give us some better tires. Don't give us a reason to literally pull them off, sell them, and have to basically expect to just have to throw away tires on a brand new $100,000 or $80,000 truck, whatever you're buying. So that's that on the outside. I think that's about it for those things. I think the tech in this truck is great. I'm sure they could get creative and find some other things to add on. I don't necessarily know if they would pursue the whole bedside step thing. I think it'd be cool that now that I'm towing a gooseneck around, it would be handy. But I don't think it's like a thing that we have to have, and I don't really like the way they look. But functionality, I'm sure they're great. But again, that's a consumer-driven thing, so I'd love to know what you guys think about that. But I really think that the big thing, and I think everybody else is going to agree, is the powertrains. Man, I think it's about time that they maybe ditch the 68 RFE, not because it's a bad transmission. Guys, I've seen guys putting 400,000 miles on those transmissions that tow for a living. I actually sold my tires, the stock tires, to a hotshot guy, and he rammed 2,500, 68 RFE, 325,000 miles, never give him a problem, not once. Truck was bone stock. I think in stock format, it's a great transmission. It's a great daily driving transmission. It tows great, puts power down well, but it's kind of it's at its ceiling of what it can handle for power. You start adding more power to that transmission, and it starts giving you problems. So I really think for that reason they need to ditch the 68 RFE, and I think they need to move on from the Ison as well. Not that truck doesn't, or not that transmission doesn't have a place in the market. Not that transmission doesn't perform great, when you're towing, heavy. But I think what they need to do is, I don't ever think that they're going to ditch the standard output, high output. I think they've been doing that so long. I just don't ever see them moving away from that configuration. And that's totally fine, because some people don't need a high output. I'll be making another video talking about why I think the standard output is actually so good. But I really think that it's time for maybe going to an 8, 9, 10 speed. And I think what would really get the market stirred up and bring a ton of customers to Ram, and I think not a single person would disagree with me with this, is get a Allison 8, 9, 10, 12, whatever speeds you want. Get a true Allison transmission paired up to this Cummins motor, guys. And you have got a recipe for selling some HD trucks. I think the standard output is off-putting to a lot of people because it is on paper so down on power. It performs flawlessly for me. I love it. I love this truck. But even I, for a while, was like, on paper, man, this is like, I should have bought another truck maybe for towing these heavy trailers I'm looking at. Now it does perform great, like I said, but on paper, it's people are spec sheet warriors. We all got to admit it. We all like to get into the numbers, the ooh-ahs. So I think that the standard output probably deters a few customers, and that high output, guys. I've had the experience of driving about 6 or 7 different high outputs at this point. Dualies, crew cab long beds, mega cab short beds, you name it. They were all 5th gens. They were 2021s to 2023s. And it's kind of a mixed bag. I had a couple that I drove that I was like, man, this is amazing. And I had, my 2023 that I drove, it was like the worst driving pickup I have ever gotten behind. It's ultimately why I didn't take delivery of that truck, because it was so bad. I had a good experience with some 22s, but the 23 was just terrible. So I think for a lot of people, daily driving a high output Cummins, they look at the power and they're like, oh yeah, I want the high output, because more power is better. And then they go test drive and they're like, oh, this sucks. Like, it's definitely not a daily driver transmission. That transmission is designed to have, a substantial amount of weight behind it. And when it does, it performs. It is a phenomenal transmission. Stout as hell. The one thing it sucks is it's so damn heavy, but whatever. Well, that's totally a different topic. But anyway, Ison's great and all, but I really think that if they had a single transmission, true Allison, 8 to 10 speed, I don't think that 10 is necessarily necessary. But whatever. If it's 8, 9, 10, whatever the engineers can put together that is the most efficient and the best for the job. And I think that being able to have a high output that's also a great daily driver would be so great for these trucks, and it would really truly help them sell the high output to more consumers, because a lot of people like myself, I do some big towing, and when I do tow, it's normally long distances because I'm going to racetracks around the country to ride my motorcycles at different tracks. But then the other 70% of my miles, or whatever it may be, is driving like this, driving on the freeway, driving around town. I drive the hell out of this truck. This is just under 9 months of driving for me, guys. 24,000, almost 400 right now. I put the miles down, so I spend a lot of time in this truck, and I want to enjoy driving what I drive, not have to deal with what I drive. And I think a lot of people are like that. It's probably 50-50, or maybe even it's only 20% towing, 80% daily driving, but they can't afford 2 vehicles. So that would be huge for the consumers. So do something like that. Now, power output. I don't necessarily think after towing with this amount of power and towing 10,000 pounds that they necessarily need to push to have 1,250, 1,400, whatever pound-feet of torque they think is necessary. I think Ford Ego flexed that high output pretty hard, and it's a monster, but I don't think they necessarily have to have a 1,250 pound-feet of torque truck, but I think they're probably going to go for something like 1225. But what I want to see is maybe more efficiency out of the high output would be really great. You know, more efficiency out of the high output, because, you know, Ford's new high output, they're getting like 20 to 22 mpg, which is just great for that amount of power. High output Cummins right now is like 17 to 19 on the freeway. It's kind of abysmal compared to the high output Ford. You know, and maybe I'm wrong on that. You know, let me know if you've got a high output and you daily drive that truck. Let me know what you get on the freeway. I'd love to be proven wrong, but all my research points to about 18. You know, so get more efficiency out of the high output, and let's just say 450 and 1225. That would probably satisfy the consumer base, but I would rather see efficiency and reliability instead of trying to flex on Ford on the torque. I think for the low output, I think 425 on the horsepower or 400 on the horsepower and about 950, 975 on the torque would be great. I would probably, you know, for what I do, I would probably even be fine with a standard output Cummins if that was 400 and 975. I'd be happy with that. But would I probably get the high output for fun? Probably. But, you know, anyway, so I think those are the big things. I think I covered everything. I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to see what happens. Oh, sorry, I did forget one thing. GVWRs on the 2500s. GM's got it right. It's like 10,800 pounds on the 2500s. You need Ram. You need to do that. You need to do something like 10.5, 10.8, 11,000, whatever. Get the GVWR up on the 2500. That's why so many people don't want the 2500s. They ride great, but kick that GVWR up. Or else you're going to have consumers that constantly tow over their payload because they can do it. It's just an on-paper thing, and yeah, just up that. Other than that, that's all I got, guys. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Comment down below what you would want to see out of a 6th-gen Ram. If there's any other things that I missed, anything creative that you can think of. I'm curious to see what the other Ram guys are thinking. But those are my big things. Overall, I think 75% of this truck is still great. And it doesn't need a ton of changes, but it definitely needs a good powertrain overhaul, and maybe a light interior refresh. But other than that, you know, I love my Ram trucks, so just waiting it out to see what they do. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys.